Hello, good evening and welcome to the holiday edition of News360 live from our studio here at Adisanwe Kanda, Accra. I am Martin Asiedu-Dartey.
And I'm Ayisha Yakubu coming up in the bulletin this evening.
News360 headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal,
EcoBank.
Vice President Professor Jenano Pokwajiman calls for bold and systematic reforms to strengthen Ghana's anti-corruption architecture.
Also coming up, train derails in Aveno in Accra after cow strays onto the tracks, bringing into sharp focus the issue about continued encroachment and safety along rail tracks.
As Muslims mark Eid al-Adha, we bring you the fascinating story of henna, the art of creating intricate designs on the hands and feet.
And on the international front, feud between United States President Donald Trump and billionaire Elon Musk continues. We have details of all these stories and more. Do be part of the show. Let's hear from you on the stories we have for you tonight.
In the details this evening, the Vice President, Professor Jenano Pokwajiman, has called for bold and systematic reforms to strengthen the country's anti-corruption architecture, emphasizing the need for constitutional amendments. The Vice President was speaking at a high-level conference on Ghana's anti-corruption architecture here in Accra.
The high-level conference, spearheaded by the African Union Advisory Board Against Anti-Corruption, is on a theme, revitalizing the anti-corruption architecture in Africa, Ghana's accountability journey. Data from the 2024 Corruption Perceptions Index and the 2022 Ghana Statistical Service Corruption Report indicated that in just 1 year, over 5 billion cedis was lost to bribery alone. The IMF also assessed that the country's control of corruption has deteriorated over the last decade. The Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, has therefore entreated stakeholders to recommit themselves to fighting corruption.
We must legislate and revitalize unexplained wealth orders, extending the application to both public officials and private citizens, while anchoring the principle of reverse burden of proof in our Constitution. The revised Conduct of Public Officers Bill will onboard the views of CSOs, anti-corruption institutions, the media, academia, the international community, and all relevant stakeholders to ensure that this bill stands the test of time. The financing of political parties and national elections must be regulated through comprehensive legislation that addresses both internal party leadership selection and national campaign funding.
She said the Operation Recover All Loot Oral, an effort by the Mahama administration, is a clear message that corruption will not be tolerated going forward.
The launch of a comprehensive code of conduct for all presidential appointees establishes clear ethical standards from the highest levels of government. His commitment to reviewing the 1992 Constitution to make it fit for purpose to meet our current governance challenges is yet another demonstration of the President's commitment to fight against corruption. The appointment of a presidential advisor on the National Anti-Corruption Program, the first of its kind since 1992, represents a strategic approach to coordinating our efforts.
Professor Nana Jane stressed the need for an environment to be created for the youth to actively participate in the anti-corruption efforts. The Special Prosecutor, Kisi Ejabeng, advocated for a more robust asset declaration mechanism that will include verification and tracing of undeclared assets.
The principle of lifestyle audit non-conviction-based asset recovery should be stamped in the Constitution. Where a person's resources far outstrip his legitimate income, the unexplained portion should be liable to confiscation. There should be a more robust and effective asset declaration mechanism in respect of public officers and persons undergoing lifestyle audit to close the loop on the amassing of illicit wealth and to enhance accountability. We should move beyond mere repositories to a system of verification and tracing undeclared assets. In my estimation, a publication of who has declared or has not declared his assets in the context of a workable asset verification and tracing model would be sufficient to assure the integrity of the asset declaration system.
Let's have some conversation on this. Adam Senanu is a board member of the African Union Advisory Board Against Corruption and co-chair of the Citizens Movement Against Corruption. Good evening, sir, and happy holiday.
Good evening, and thank you for having me.
Mr. Senanu, this is not the first anti-corruption conference we've seen, but from where you stand, can you tell us what tangible outcomes we should expect this time around?
Well, it's the first time that I've seen this high-level commitment. The country has been undergoing a review. So far we've had only 12 out of the 55 countries assessing this, agreeing to go through this review. So we started on Monday, met the Speaker, met the President, met the Attorney General, met finance, met judiciary, met civil society. And there's a set of questions relating to legislation that we expect each country to have. And then we have feedback on the execution of this legislation. I think that the level of commitment seen is really high. We are going to give our recommendations within 2 months. And we're expecting that it could feed into the constitutional review and other key things that the government wants to take. I think that we can expect much more tangible outcomes in terms of looking at improving our political party financing management in terms of a legal measure, in terms of lifestyle audits to deal with persons who are just amassing wealth criminally, and to do with other areas where sanctions have been absent, for example, relating to public officers' conduct, that will allow it to go to court and be properly adjudicated on. I think that there are some substantive outcomes we will see in the medium term coming up.
Well, there are also growing calls for amendments to the asset declaration law, specifically to make declared assets both verified and also public. What should be the clear way forward?
Yes, I mean, all of us, especially civil societies, agreed on that. The special prosecutor said something to the effect that he didn't think publication may be as important. But we are clear from best practice all over. If you subscribe to public office, you should be ready to undergo the scrutiny that is required for us to go to check the resources and assets at your disposal. We are clear in our minds that the current draft Conduct of Public Officers Bill, which went to Cabinet last year but was not sent back to Parliament for passing, which the President and the Vice President have both referred to, is something that should be passed into law. Within that, we will have an improved asset declaration regime, which includes both verification of assets as well as publication, as we have in sister nations like Nigeria.
There's also the issue of the Code of Conduct Bill, which remains unpassed. Now, how urgently do you think government should act now that Parliament is back?
I think the government has already, in these speeches, it is what I was just speaking to, I think it's as urgent as their own commitments recently to passing it has been. I remember that at the launch of the Code of Conduct, the executive policy that the president launched for his own officers, he talked about making sure that this bill is passed into law. I think that as urgently as this year, would like to know that by the end of the year, that will also be passed into law, such that we can set the tone for the appointees he has put into positions, and then to ensure that we can do much better in holding them accountable.
Grateful for your time this evening, Mr. Senanu. Adam Senanu is a board member of the African Union Advisory Board Against Corruption and also the co-chair of the Citizen Movement Against Corruption.
Now let's go on to some other stories this evening. And former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has officially been placed on Interpol's Red Notice list. A red notice is not an arrest warrant, but a request to police worldwide to detain someone pending extradition. The notice, made public on the 5th of June 2025, intensifies international efforts to locate and provisionally arrest the former Finance Minister. Ken Ofori-Atta is currently believed to be in the United States receiving medical treatment. The 65-year-old is wanted on charges of using public office for profit. This marks the second time Mr. Ofori-Atta has been declared wanted by the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Earlier this year, Ken Ofori-Atta was labelled a fugitive from justice after failing to comply with an official summons related to a corruption investigation, including probes into the National Cathedral project and controversial revenue assurance contract with SML, which is the Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited. And following a correspondence between his lawyers and the OSP, he was asked to be taken off the list, which the OSP obliged. But last week or so, the OSP said that he has had to put Ken Ofori-Atta back on the wanted list because he failed to attend upon the OSP. Meanwhile, the special prosecutor on Thursday at a media engagement, like I indicated, announced moves to have Ken Ofori-Atta extradited following his failure to return to Ghana to answer questions relating to corruption allegations. Let's listen to the OSP the day he made that announcement.
OSP redeclares that Mr. Ofori-Atta is a wanted person and a fugitive from justice. His name is hereby re-entered on the OSP's list of wanted persons. The OSP will take all necessary legal steps to secure Mr. Ofori-Atta's return to the jurisdiction and to answer to the criminal inquiries against him. In pursuance of this, about 30 minutes before this briefing, I triggered processes for the issuance of an Interpol Red Notice for the location and provisional arrest of Mr. Kenneth Nanaya Ofori-Atta in whichever jurisdiction pending extradition or his surrender. Around the same time, I dispatched a request for extradition processes to be instituted for the provisional apprehension in any jurisdiction in which Mr. Ofori-Atta may be located or found, and his extradition to the Republic of Ghana. From 20 to 21 March, when he said he was going to have the possible medical intervention, surgical intervention, upon which reckoning we indulgently said, oh, take some of the days, recuperate. So he suggested he will come between 14 to 30 May. We said, oh, take a few more days. Come on 2nd June. How friendly can we be? Beyond this, after accommodating you, you sat by for at least 67 days when you knew your condition had changed.
And that's the Special Prosecutor Kisie Jabing, the day he announced that following the failure of Ken Ofori-Atta to attend upon them for investigations, to assist with investigations, he has been replaced on the wanted list. Now, we also checked following the news that Ken Ofori-Atta has been placed on the Interpol Red List. So if you go to the Interpol website and you search for wanted individuals, you would see the second image on the website is that of Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, and his full name is there, Ofori-Atta Kenneth Nanaya, with his age 65 years old and the country he's from, Ghana. And the page has names of other wanted individuals there, but our interest is that of the Finance Minister, former Ken Ofori-Atta. So then it brings you the full details of what you would see when you open Mr. Ofori-Atta's image on the Interpol Red Notice page. So his name is there, family name Ofori-Atta, his forename or first name is Kenneth Nanaya. His gender, male, date of birth 7/11/1959, meaning he's 65 years old, place of birth Accra, nationality Ghana. Distinguishing, so then there are other parts, so distinguishing marks and characteristics or things you should see on him to know that, yes, this is actually the individual. The page says not applicable, so there's nothing there. Then there are physical descriptions of Ken Ofori-Atta. His height is 1.7 meters, the color of his hair, the color of his eyes, and that is how detailed this wanted list looks like. And again, it talks about the language or languages that he speaks. He says he speaks English and Twi, and then the charges have also not been published. So clearly, that is what you find on the Interpol watch list when you go there right now as we speak, because earlier today was when we heard that Ken Ofori-Atta had been placed on that list. All right, so that's just by way of what we know about the confirmation that Ken Ofori-Atta is on that list. Let's speak to fraud and security analyst Richard Kumado. Mr. Kumado, good evening. Thank you for your time. Happy holiday to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Martin.
There are already accusations and allegations, shifting to the lawyers of Ken Ofori-Atta that clearly they have not aided the former finance minister in addressing this whole dramatic issue. Would you lay the blame there, or you think that the OSP clearly has overstepped his bounds, considering the fact that there has been correspondence between the OSP, and lawyers of Ken Ofori-Atta?
For all investigative institutions and institutions with a mandate to prosecute crime, the Interpol platform is one of the platforms they have. And at all times when they are investigating crime and the frontliners in a particular crime are nowhere to be found, or they have escaped from the jurisdiction where the crime is being investigated, they have the power and the opportunity to activate the protocols on the Interpol platform. And so for the special prosecutor, that is what he has done. For Ken Ofori-Atta and his lawyers, they will need to speak to themselves and find out whether they are serving his interest, and that interest has been well served. The reason being that the risks of being profiled as somebody who is wanted for crime internationally, or declared wanted for crime investigations, or PGT for that matter, it comes with a huge cost and with dire consequences. The reason being that the Interpol platform can't be accessed by a lot of investigative agencies, law enforcement officers, departments, and individuals who are into investigations. And all law enforcement officers all over the world and their agencies are also going to pick that data and risk profile Ken Ofori-Atta, which means that the leaks we saw on the Interpol goes way beyond that of the Interpol surroundings. The second major issue there is that immigrations and financial institutions and border control and all other places that profiling is a professional exercise on individuals, they are going to do so. And to that extent, this profile goes way beyond the individuals like Ken Ofori-Atta. It may affect the bloodline, businesses, his associates and acquaintances and all other things around him. And at all points, when his name is mentioned or people affected by this simple profiling, issues of financial crime and money laundering and fraud is going to pop up as a red flag. And that is the nature of the complexity and the strict restrictions they are going to place on him. And so to that regard, as somebody who has dealt within this area before, I would have thought that the lawyers would have engaged the special prosecutor more meaningfully so that he will not be declared fugitive or somebody running away from crime prosecution or crime investigations.
How?
Because you can blame the special prosecutor. It's an option he has, and he has activated it.
How can Mr. Ofori-Atta get his name off this list? Can he, for instance, call the OSP and say, okay, I'm returning to Ghana next week or next month, and then by that, his name will be taken off the list? Or it would have to take him being arrested or seen to be arrested, then it would get his name off it?
Normally, what happens is that even if Ghana as a state takes his name off, those other international investigative bodies that has his name, or financial institutions and all entities that deal with profiling, they are going to keep his name. Some can keep his name on their database for like 5 years, others will do 6 years, others will do 10 years, and others will keep his name for life. So at all point, people who are related to him or people who bear the same names or he himself will have some questions to answer, and he should be prepared for that. And that's the damage that comes with being declared wanted for crime or being put out there as somebody who is wanted or fugitive.
Right, Mr. Komado, thank you so much for giving us some security perspective on this particular issue. Richard Komado is a security consultant.
Now, the National Labour Commission on Thursday secured an interlocutory injunction against striking members of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. The injunction issued by the High Court's Industrial and Labour Division in Accra on June 5, 2025, immediately restrains the association and its members from continuing the industrial action. This follows the Commission's declaration of the strike as illegal. Members of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association have been on strike since Wednesday to drum home the need for government to implement agreed terms in their conditions of service. Let's go on to Zoom now. We've been joined by Tony Goodman. He is Head of Public Affairs at the Ministry of Health. Good evening, sir, and thank you for joining us.
Good evening, Ayisha.
Can you tell us what the latest is regarding the Health Ministry's engagement with the nurses?
Yes, good evening to all of you. As you may be aware, we have engaged these our colleague nurses severally. We have also extended another invitation to them so that we'll be able to actually have these negotiations completed in terms of the implementation of this document. We have been expecting them, but as you may be aware, they have still not turned up. We were invited by the Labour Commission to come have some negotiation. We went. Ministry of Health was there, Ministry of Finance, Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, Ministry of Employment, Kolebu and others were there, but the nurses didn't turn up. During that hearing, the Labour Commission actually declared their strike illegal. They mentioned that when they served notice earlier, they told them not to go on this strike. And then they went. And then it's been declared illegal. So they've been trying to get them to go back to work. They have rescinded that decision. And so the Labour Commission will have to go to court to get them to actually go back to work. So as we speak, the Labour Commission has seek injunction, and that has been granted by the court to get our brothers and sisters nurses to go to work.
So we have all seen the level of destruction that this strike has caused on hospitals and the impact it has had on patients. What immediate steps is the ministry taking to minimize this impact?
Yes, if you read our earlier communique, we have directed those nurses who have decided not to go on strike to continue holding the fort. We are not saying that that is a long-term measure. It's just a stopgap measure so that we don't have needless death in our hospitals. Yesterday, the Honorable Minister for Health, Honorable Kopinam Intakando, visited some facility in Greater Accra. Most of the places we went to, some nurses are working, others are not. We are not saying that, yes, if others are working, that should be all. We still call him. He even mentioned that even if we have one person not coming to work, it's still a big deal for him, which means that we have to continue this discussion. Monday, we would have to meet again at the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission to continue this. What we are saying is not far from the right thing. We only want them to come to the table for us to look at how we can implement this document. If need be, if we have to look at some portions of it, we have to. Let me say that when this document was actually signed up to earlier, the first one, which was reviewed, there were a lot of things that were not actually implemented. Talk about the transfer allowances, to talk about this 13th allowance. All of these things were in the earlier document, but they were not implemented. This is why we want them to come to the table for us to have a clear roadmap. If this is not done, and you say, sign, and we sign, it means that you will still go back to the old process where you sign to these documents, but most of the things are not done. We don't want it this way. We want them to come to the table for us to agree. If it's tomorrow, we know we are doing this tomorrow. If another day, we know we are doing this. Then you have a calculated effort in achieving this particular welfare of our staff.
Well, Mr. Goodman, we are keeping our fingers crossed and we hope that all of this will be resolved and also be resolved quickly. Tony Goodman is Head of Public Affairs at the Ministry of Health.
You would not believe some of the strange things that happen, on days like this, which is a holiday. Well, for all intents and purposes, people are looking for meat. But guess what? A train traveling from Odona station in Accra to Tema derailed on Thursday after it hit a cow that had strayed onto the railway line at Aveno. No passengers were injured, and Joseph Armstrong, our reporter, was there and has come through with this report.
This is a very spot we are told a cow allegedly crossed the train leading to its derailment yesterday, Thursday, around 5 p.m.
When the news team visited the scene on Friday, it was clear the area had been heavily encroached upon. Structures, livestock, and even vendors lined the tracks, violating railway safety regulations. Goats, rams, and cows roam freely, with some even tied directly to the railway line. Encroachment is not isolated to Aveno.
This is the level of encroachment on the train line between the Odo train station all the way to Tema. This train currently has derailed and it will take the effort of a bulldozer or a crane to put it back on track. But currently there's no access road for either a bulldozer or a crane to come in here.
From Aveno through Alaju to Tesano East, the entire railway corridor has been taken over by settlers and businesses operating dangerously close to the tracks. According to eyewitnesses, the car that caused the derailment had been tied to the tracks. Its owner reportedly failed to remove it in time before the train arrived, resulting in a collision.
It's like the rope was on the neck of the car, so he was holding the rope. So by mistakenly, when the train was coming, the car also want to cross the road, like the train road, and by mistakenly, the train covered it. So the way the train speed was, it was too high. So the car was so big. So the way the front tied it, you raise it and break it down and shift to the left, and it started breaking down to this place.
The impact caused serious damage to the rails, beams and shock absorbers, halting train services along the line. Some squatters living nearby have taken advantage of the situation to occupy the train as their shelter in less than 24 hours. But some livestock owners blame the accidents on newcomers to the area, who they claim joined the animal trade due to the festive season.
Because of the occasion, you see plenty, it's not Ghanaians who Burkina Faso, plenty, everybody did it. By train coming like that, from Accra itself, where it's parked, you go see everybody. You go touch everything, go back. Where they leave the road, if you stand here, you go see more than this journey. The road is clear, no any problem. By 6:30, everybody, you can't leave your team. When 7:30 or 8, by that time it can't pass.
Authorities say investigations are ongoing and efforts are underway to move the train back onto the tracks. Until the train is restored to operation, there are over 300 regular passengers who rely on the Accra-Tema line for daily commuting will have to seek alternative means of transport. Joseph Armstrong, Good Alibwe TV3, Aveno, Accra.
This is News 360. Stay with us for some more news, especially on Accra. Thank you for staying with us. Let's bring you some more stories now. President John Dramani Mahama has promised significant reductions in Hajj fares by next year. Speaking at the National Eid prayers, he highlighted the government's commitment to reducing the cost of Hajj pilgrimage following the continuous appreciation of the city.
I'm deeply aware of the financial burden it has placed on many Muslim families. This year, despite efforts, the costs remain high, even though we cut it. But I want to assure you that we're working closely with the relevant agencies and our Saudi counterparts. And if Allah accepts our supplications and the CD continues to show the recent strength that it has shown, I'm optimistic that next year we'll see a very significant drop in the Hajj fare. Indeed, if the Muslims who went this year were going at this time, the Hajj fare will be something like 45,000 cedis. Additionally, in response to the long-standing appeals from the Muslim community, I wish to announce that we have prepared a bill to designate the additional holiday of Eid al-Fitr as a public holiday, and this will soon be presented to Parliament. It means that it will be a law. It will no longer be by executive instrument.
Well, there is one common sight during Muslim festivals: the hands and feet of women and girls adorned with beautiful, intricate designs. This art is called henna. It resembles a tattoo and is drawn mostly on the limbs using a natural dye. Ayisha Yakubu brings us the interesting story about the tradition and beauty of henna.
Eid al-Adha is known as the Big Salah for a reason. It's not just a time of sacrifice and prayer, it's a time of celebration. For many Muslim women, it is also a time to embrace beauty, culture and elegance as they prepare for the big day. At the heart of these preparations is fashion. Many opt for custom-made dresses crafted from luxurious lace or printed fabrics, often in bold colors and exquisite embroidery. But perhaps the most cherished ritual is the application of henna. Its history stretches back over 5,000 years, with roots in ancient Egypt, India, and North Africa. Today, in Ghana and across the Muslim world, henna remains a beloved part of Eid, symbolizing joy, beauty, and spiritual renewal.
I like doing henna because when you get dressed up, you look 10 over 10 minus nothing. But I don't do henna only on Eid. I do it normal days because it really looks good on my hand, as you can see.
Me personally, I like doing henna because I feel like it complements my skin and then even my outfit.
I do it because it enhances my beauty. We mostly do it during like celebrations like Eid, weddings, and other like special occasions.
Meet 33-year-old Faiza Abubakar, a professional henna artist with over 13 years experience. Her busiest season is during Eid, though her work is also in high demand for weddings, naming ceremonies, and photo shoots. Using a paste made from dried henna leaves, Faiza creates detailed designs ranging from floral vines to bold, geometric patterns, all by hand, often in under 10 minutes.
Henna is kind of Muslim originated. So during, it's become a Muslim thing, and it's almost like every Muslim girl wants henna during Eid, and then they kind of feel left out if they don't have henna. So the craze for it really goes through the roof during Eid periods, yeah. But it's not the only peak season. At first it used to be the peak season, but now even with non-Muslim events, non-Muslim festivities, people want henna. This, when you see it, you know that, oh, okay, this is like a Muslim girl's henna. But then again, when a non-Muslim comes for henna, there's a certain pattern we do that shows, okay, this is not Muslim henna, it's for their season also.
A business administration graduate from Valley View University, Faiza admits the work can be overwhelming, especially during peak periods, but it is always worth it. While many women seek her services, some hold back due to the nature of their professions.
In roughly 5 days, I should have been able to do at least 150 people. I get this fulfillment when I see the joy on my client's face, because I always strive to do a good job for my clients. So I guess that kind of pushes me. I'm very glad doing it. I don't understand why, but bankers, teachers, and nurses, the three professions I've met, where they want to do henna, but they're always scared to do henna. Some of the stubborn ones will do it, and then they will like, call me a Hajja. How do I clean this stuff? I have to go back to work.
And although henna is mostly associated with women, many men also take interest, spending hours to get their own unique and stylish designs.
I do get a lot of male clients. Everybody thought to men can't do henna, men can't do it as a female, and I was like, no. I can do patterns for you that resonates with your masculinity. I don't have to do flowery patterns. It's actually nicer to deal with male clients. They are more considerate, honestly, very understanding. You make errors in front of them and they're like, oh, just work around and do something. So they give you this confidence. And women, we like to be a bit petty with our design. So working with men, yeah, it's been nice.
Henna is more than decoration. It is a symbol of good news. It marks joyful moments, and when you see it on someone, chances are they've just celebrated something special. Ayisha Yakubu, TV3 News, Accra.
Just by way of example, this is a beautiful henna on Ayisha's hands.
Yes, it was done during the interview.
Okay. And so this, estimately, people want to do some, how much would it cost if someone has interest in it?
So a single hand like this is 30 cedis if you go to the shop.
Okay.
Yeah, so both will cost you 60 cedis.
Right.
And if you're doing your feet too, the same price.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all you need to do is appear.
Yes. It takes about 12 days to wipe off.
Really?
12 days, close to 2 weeks.
No matter how hard you bath. Don't mind me. All right. So we have some more stories for you, Ayisha.
Moving away from that, as the deadline for the removal of unauthorized billboards expired, TV3 captured many of these structures still clutter roadsides, footbridges, and sidewalks, posing risks to motorists and pedestrians alike. Director General of the National Road Safety Authority, Abraham Amaliba, had ordered all billboards obstructing pedestrian bridges and vehicular footbridges to be removed within 21 days.
The National Road Safety Authority on April 30 issued a deadline for the removal of unauthorized billboards from footbridges and overpasses. Despite the clear directive, many of the billboards remained firmly in place across Accra, raising serious concerns about compliance and enforcement. The directive followed widespread public complaints about visibility and dangerous distractions near high-traffic areas. By failing to act, are city authorities putting lives at risk?
We are meeting the district assemblies. I've written a letter to the local government minister, and that would ensure that all the 29 district assemblies in the Greater Accra region will be met at a meeting. Now, we want to meet them before the deadline of the 21 days. Don't forget that we'll give them 21 days. So at that meeting, we would stress the need for them. And it's not all billboards. We are talking about illegal billboards. There are specifications for billboards. Those that are beyond the specifications are the ones we are talking about. So if you see some billboards, it doesn't mean that they are the ones we are talking about. But we are talking about the illegal billboards. And that is why we are calling them for a meeting sometime next week. If they do not, we can issue them with compliance notices. If they fail to abide by the compliance notices, then we sue them in court.
Another obstruction on the walkways is overgrown trees. On some parts of the road, the overgrown trees overshadowed the illegal billboards. The big question remains, will enforcement finally take hold, or will unauthorized billboards continue to dominate Accra's streets?
You're still watching News 360's a holiday edition. We hope you've had a good day. Stay with us. We have latest in the world of sports and other stories for you.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Belisha. Now, Ghana's 100-meter record holder, Abdul Rashid Saminu, has revealed that he's still considering between going professional on the tracks or furthering his education after recently attaining his first degree at the University of South Florida. In an exclusive interview on Sports Daily, the 2024 Olympian says he's keeping his options open.
Today I'm here. They're grateful. They reach out to me saying, hey, you are everywhere. You're on the news. My dad, big bro, texts me, hey, what we couldn't do, you even do it more than us. You graduate college, and now you are a Ghana national record holder. This is the proudest moment in our family. I don't know yet. I just graduated in communication. I was trying to do my master's with entrepreneurship. But anyway, I'm ready. If the pro come, fine. If it doesn't come, I stick with my education plan and do my master's with the University of South Florida. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, who knows? Who knows tomorrow? Whatever happened will happen at the end of the season. So we're just hoping for the best. This time I'll just focus on NCAA next year, so next week. So that's all I'm focused now. If the pro come, we are ready to take it.
Now moving on to football, Ange Postecoglou has been sacked as Tottenham manager 16 days after leading them to victory in the Europa League final. The 1-0 win over Manchester United in Bilbao brought Spurs a first major trophy in 17 years. However, it came towards the end of their worst Premier League season, with the club finishing 17th after losing 22 of their 38 matches. The Australian had told fans, quote, Season 3 is better than Season 2 as he gathered at a victory parade to mark European success in his second campaign. Despite that, the 59-year-old's time in North London ended 2 years to the day after Spurs announced he would join them from Celtic on a 4-year contract. But he's managed Tottenham for 101 games, recording 47 victories, 15 draws, 39 losses, and 1 Europa League trophy. Now let's go to the world of tennis, where defending champion Carlos Alcaraz moved into his second successive French Open final after Lorenzo Musetti retired injured in the fourth set of their semi-final. Now the Spanish second seed Alcaraz led 4-6, 7-6, 7-3, 6-0, 2-0 when Italy's Musetti, aiming to reach his first major final, was forced to end his match early. Now 8th seed Musetti needed treatment for a tie problem at the end of the third set. Now that's it for the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Billy Shen. Entertainment is up next.
Lifestyle, powered by 3 Entertainment.
Let's bring you some entertainment news now. Charterhouse, organizers of the annual Ghana Music Awards, will tonight engage the Artist of the Year for the 26th edition, King Promise, in celebration of his win at the recent awards event. Scheduled to take place at the Palms Convention Center, the event, dubbed A Night with King Promise, will also witness the presentation of all the plaques to all the award winners, which will have their names embossed on it. Let's go to my colleague, Adjoa Noella. She's at the venue currently. Adjoa, tell us about this event and tell us where you are. Palms Convention
Good
Center.
evening and welcome to the
A Night with King Promise will also witness the presentation of
my name is
all the
Noella,
plaques
and
to
tonight
all
I'm
the award
reporting
winners,
from the
which
Palms
will have their
Convention
names.
Center.
Event and tell us where you are. Palms Convention.
Every single awardee from that night will be a legend in the space. Daddy Bosco is here. I'll just pick just a few words from Daddy Bosco. So please, if you could come closer to me. Now, aside the main TGMAs, there's this platform that has been created. So, you know, how we'll give the Artist of the Year the platform to perform and also present all the plaques. What do you make of this particular initiative?
Oh, it's an awesome one. Okay. Because we've always been saying that the TGMAs is like the Grammys of Ghana music. It's like the BET of Ghana music. It's the thing. So any opportunity we give musicians to be celebrated, as somebody who works with the Musicians Union of Ghana, I applaud.
Right. Okay. So I'm sure you're going in there. You're hoping to see the Artist of the Year perform. And what else are you expecting for?
Oh, people having fun.
Okay. I'm sure you're going to be having fun yourself. Most definitely. We'll definitely catch you aside. Thank you so much for talking to us. Also, I've got Scott Evans, and he's going to be performing tonight as well. Please join me. Bless us with your presence. You know, we like how you're looking. But you're about to go in there and perform. First of all, what do you make of this platform that has been used aside the main TGMAs? What do you make of it?
I think it's a very important platform. Of course, normally when an artist works so hard and at the end of the day he's crowned Artist of the Year, and we don't get to feel him personal, I think it's something. But tonight we'll be here to experience the King. Who has promised us a beautiful performance tonight. So,
well, I mean,
Adjoa, I'm sure you bring us all of the highlights of that event subsequently. Adjoa Noella there at the Palm Center, bringing us up to date on some TGMA plaques that are being given to award winners.
And that's our package for this holiday edition. Thank you very much for watching. I am Martin Asiedu-Dartey.
And I'm Ayisha Yakubu. Barka da Sallah.